Hi, today I'm going to talk about how you can shape the society that you live in using your vote. The first thing to understand is that when you vote at federal or state elections, you are not voting to elect the Prime Minister or Premier or even a particular party. You are voting to elect a representative for your electorate to Parliament, someone to represent you in the federal or state parliament. So you need to focus very carefully on what those people are like. If you vote in people that you don't know without knowing anything about them or their ability, then we're going to end up to some extent with bad government. And if all the people around Australia do the same, we'll end up with hopeless government. So it's really critical for you to pick someone who reflects your values and views, who will go into Parliament and promote those views, and who will do it effectively and competently. They need to be people who are capable of seeing how to drive a nation or a state. So find out about them. Do some homework so that when you go to the polling booth and vote for them, you can honestly say that you have made a good assessment and voted for the person best capable of representing you. Don't rely on what they say about themselves or what their brochure says. You need independent opinion on them. And remember, they are the only ones you are voting for. Ignore the Premier or the Prime Minister. When you cast your vote, it's not going to have the slightest difference on who becomes Premier or Prime Minister unless you are in an extremely marginal seat and your one vote is going to decide which party wins. That does not often happen. So it's a case of picking the very best person. Ignore what the media says and what the political advertisements say. Again, you need to vote for people on the basis of their past performance, not on promises that they make without really knowing whether they can fulfill those promises. Past performance is the only guide to who is likely to represent you well in Parliament. Local politicians are the foundation of our democracy. And if we do not have good local politicians, we will not have a good Parliament. And if we don't have a good Parliament, we won't have good government. And it most certainly will not represent the people. So it's over to you to focus carefully on the candidates who are coming up for election next time. Take your time, and one of the things you can do is cut out voting information from the newspaper and mark your preferences on that before you go to the polling booth. And then you don't have to rely on what's being handed out by the various political parties. Bad government comes more often because of what voters do than because of what politicians do. Next time I talk, I'm going to talk about how you can use your voice to guide government even more. But the first basic is to try to get someone as your local representative who will in fact take your views and values into Parliament. Parliament is where the decisions are made. The bureaucracy and public service are the places where the job is actually done. So there you are. It's quite different to what many people think. Go to the next election and focus on the local candidate. And we'll have more to tell you about how democracy works in further discussions. Thank you.